Misa Wanna Die. What is up, guys? It's Big Cheap here. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing another book rant. Oh my goodness, that has been so long since I've said those words. But if you haven't seen the last video, which is the only video I've uploaded in the past year, I'm back on BookTube, so I made a whole video saying that. If you haven't known already, now you know. Today I'm going to be doing what I am hopefully known best for. I really hope so. I don't know if there's any background information or anything that I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to be doing a book rant. This is, I think, Book Rant 25. I looked it up the other day. I think this is Book Rant 25, and I know the perfect title for this video because I am a witty person. I have like a year's load of books to talk about. Not in this video, but like, I have a whole ton of books that I could be talking about, could be discussing with you guys, but a summary of what I've read about this, and I could spend a whole lot of time summarizing what I read over the past year. Yeah, but that's way too hard. What I'm going to be doing instead is just talking about the books I'm recently reading. Just hop right into the pool where we left off. So, with that out of the way, let's get into this. Okay, so first of all, I am going to be showing you the book that I am currently reading, and that is The Rent Collector by Cameron Wright. This, I'm about like halfway through it. As you can see, this this beaten, old bookmark that's so beaten you think it went into like an alleyway. But The Rent Collector is a story about Cambodia. I keep mispronouncing the name. I haven't forgotten already, but this is set in Cambodia in a dump, and it's about a wife and a husband and their infant child, and about a woman that goes around the community demanding money and is known as the rent collector. So it's about mainly the wife and the rent collector, and it is good. Or let me just say, it's great when it wants to be. And I don't mean just great, like, oh yeah, it's great. I mean Tony the Tiger great. This can get phenomenal, but at some points, it can get horrifically dry. It gets so dry with its writing at points, but then it's so poetic at other points that I'm conflicted about this book. But overall, I do really like it. I do think it's a strong book. And if any of his other books sound interesting to me, I may read more Cameron Wright. So, hey! Alright, the next book, the book I'm going to be reading right after The Rent Collector is Michael Ondaatje's Anil's Ghost, or Anil's Ghost? I think Anil's Ghost, but I could be completely wrong. Michael Ondaatje recently became one of my all-time favorite authors. I've read 3 books from him before: The English Patient, Warlight, which is his new one, and The Cat's Table. I loved Warlight, really loved The Cat's Table, and The English Patient is now one of my all-time favorite books. Yeah, he's made a pretty big impression on me. This book doesn't have anything to live up for. Nothing at all. Just kidding. This book has the reputation of Michael Ondaatje. No, okay, not that far, but like, it has a lot to hold up, especially with those past 3 masterpieces. Oh my goodness. So, I am very excited to see what this book is about. From what I've read, it sounds very interesting, but I've already forgotten what it's about. So, but it's pretty much I'm hopping into this one blind. Do you see how much I'm stuttering? So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Because I am the absolute worst. Alright, the next one is a play. I'm not going to mention this too much because it's a play. If you know anything about plays, you probably heard of this play. If you know anything about movies, you probably heard about this play because it's also a famous movie. And it's Steel Magnolias by Robert Harling. I am going into this play with the biggest expectations. I've heard both in online and in real life that this is one of the greatest, like, many people consider it one of their favorite plays. They love this play, and I'm like, oh my god. And it sounds like a tearjerker. I know it's going to be a tearjerker. I don't know if it's going to make me cry or not because I'm awful. But Steel Magnolias is a play. I think it's set in Louisiana in a hair salon, and that's pretty much all I know. And it's also about a group of women who are friends and live in the town. So, other than that, I have no idea what this is about. I don't know what goes on in this play. I don't know what... For being so famous, I actually know very, very little, which I'm happy about. So, if you ever want to get into, like, famous works, try to know as little about them as possible. Just know that the title, the author, and whether it's good or not, and you should probably be fine. Then we have a book. This is a brand new release. It got released, like, last week. And it is I Will Be Complete by Glenn David Gould. Okay, so my journey with Glenn David Gould starts with Steve Donahue, who is one of my all-time favorite booktubers, if not my absolute all-time favorite booktuber. And he said that his debut novel, Carter Beats the Devil, is one of the great modern American novels, or like one of the great contemporary American novels, or something like that. So I'm like, wow, okay, for the most part, I trust your opinion, so let's check it out. Just like The English Patient, Carter Beats the Devil is now one of my all-time favorite books. Whoa! So yeah, if you can probably tell, I freaking adored Carter Beats the Devil. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was everything that I needed in literature at the time, because before I read Carter Beats the Devil, I had no 5-star ratings for 2018, and then Carter Beats the Devil came into my life just on accident, really. Like, it was just fate for me and this book to be together. It sounds like we're in a relationship. I can't be in a relationship with books. Yet I still am. So, I Will Be Complete is a memoir. Okay, now we're talking about this book. I Will Be Complete, a memoir by Glenn David Gould. It's about his life in San Francisco, I think. Yeah, San Francisco in the 70s. And I think the most intriguing line in this like summary is, then one afternoon when he was 12, she moved to New York, his mother, without telling him, leaving him to fend for himself. The words "fend for himself" pop out at me. Those were the words that got me hooked. So, you know what? I read it. I'm reading it. I'm so excited. Especially since his second novel, Sunnyside, was kind of a letdown, but Carter Beats the Devil is still... So, yet again, just like the debut video, I apologize for any noises that come out of my mouth, including my talking. Alright, the next book is a book that I've tried to read before, but I wasn't a big fan of when I first tried to read it. And then I read another book by this author and really enjoyed it. So I decided, hey, it's sitting there, so why not just get it? It's Jesus' Son by Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson wrote Train Dreams, which is a novella that I really enjoyed. And this is a collection of interconnected short stories, which I'm usually a sucker for, because here we go with another one of my all-time favorite books, The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. Oh my god! So good! But yeah, enough of me screaming. Has anyone ever seen that Vine where it's just, welcome back to me screaming, ah! I make the worst references in the world. But Dennis Johnson's Jesus' Son, this is an interconnected short story collection about a crack addict, I think. Heroin addict, there we go. That's what it is. Oh, I get it, because Jesus' Son is a lyric from the Velvet Underground's Heroin. And the main character in this collection is a heroin addict. Things are connecting. I'm smart. But anyway, I'm really excited to see what Dennis Johnson has to offer. I'm awful with names. Alright, the next book is The Humans by Matt Haig. Haig. So, Matt Haig is an author that I've heard a lot about. He wrote a book called How to Stop Time, which recently came out, and everybody's been like, oh my god, this is great. And then everybody went back to this book and said, oh my god, it's so great. And overall, I've heard really great things about Matt Haig. And Kate actually read this book. Kate File read The Humans, and really liked it. So, or I think that Kate read this. Oh, I just realized this is one of those novels that lists the chapters in table of contents. That's a lot of chapters. Impressive. So The Humans, I'm really excited to read this. This is another one of my, like, it's up there with, like, Steel Magnolias. Okay, not as much as Steel Magnolias, but, like, this is a novel I've heard a lot of good things about, so I'm expecting a lot. Alright, this is a book from the Man Booker Prize 2015 shortlist. I know that's very specific, but 2015 was the first year I really started getting into reading novels, and right when I started getting into reading, like, novels, the Man Booker Prize was going on, and one of the shortlisted books was The Fisherman by Chigozie Obioma. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Yet again, I'm awful with pronouncing foreign names. But The Fisherman, I've heard a lot of great things about this book. I think, like, who was it? Jen Campbell said it was her favorite book on that shortlist. And that shortlist had, like, A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara on the list, and a lot of really high-profile names. So, it's pretty, if it's compared to those type of books, then I think I'll really enjoy this. And also, out of the ones that were nominated that year, this was the one that sounded the best. Like, this one sounded like the one that'd be my jam the most, even more than A Little Life. So, but it sounds hecka depressing, so, is it weird that I said that smiling? Hecka depressing! The Fisherman by Chigozie Obioma. I'm really excited to read this. Okay, major reading update alert. Donna Tartt is no longer my favorite author. Okay, that's a little stretch. Donna Tartt is still my queen, but she now shares the throne with somebody else. The Secret History is my favorite book of all time still, but my favorite author is Joyce Carol Oates. I am not kidding. This is not me trying to, like, throw something out there, but Joyce Carol Oates is now my all-time favorite author. She wrote 4 5-star reads for me. That is the most 5 stars I've given out ever. And one of them was A Book of American Martyrs, which was my last 5-star book. It's my favorite book of the year. I loved it. Loved it, yet it terrified me. But A Book of American Martyrs is for a whole different video. I can go on that book for ages. And this is Black Girl, White Girl by Joyce Carol Oates. I have no idea what it is about, but since it's Joyce Carol Oates, I picked it up. Literally at the library book sale this past month, I just went to the library book sale with like $50 in my wallet, and I just picked up any book that said Joyce Carol Oates on it, even if it was an anthology. I just picked it up, but I didn't pick up any anthologies. Luckily, there was plenty of novels and short story collections by her that was there. Okay, this next book is beauty, not because it's it's a gem from the library, but also it just looks beautiful, and it's Asymmetry by Lisa Halliday. Halliday? It's not Holiday, but it's Halliday. But I know nothing about this book other than the fact that it's about, like, some literary figure or, like, a literary agent. Editor! That's what it is. It's a young editor named, going back to the book, Alice. Set in, hold on a little bit, New York City. Okay. Also, that's a crisp slam. Look at this. You want to get the attention of the crowd? I'm awful. Other than what I just saw, I know nothing about this book, but I've heard a lot of great things. I've heard Conrad praise this book quite a bit, so I'm hopefully going to enjoy this book. And also, this also looks beautiful. I love that spine so much. That's how I'm going to literally finish talking about this book. Ooh, that spine's pretty. Because that's the most important detail of a book. Okay, so, this next book has a very pleasing name, very innocent name. It's called The Devil's Highway. I know nothing. Actually, I know a good deal about this book. This is, like, the story of, like, 26 men who, in May 2001, attempted to cross the Mexican border into the desert of the southern Arizona, through a deadly region known as the Devil's Highway, a desert so harsh and desolate and desolate that even the border patrol is afraid to travel it. A place that for hundreds of years has stolen men's souls and swallowed their blood. Only 12 of the men made it out. Sold! That I don't know anything else about the author. I don't know anything else about the book. I've heard nothing else about the book. I've heard about this guy's newest novel. I don't know what it's called. Oh, House of Broken Angels. That's what it's called. But whatever that... This is nonfiction. We need more stuff like this in nonfiction. Not like the, oh, here's my 1,000-page biography of Edison. No, we need stuff like this. This is interesting. This is what grabs me in nonfiction, not the big biographies, because it's important to know the history. Okay, to be honest, it's very important to know history. But at the same time, this stuff is just awesome. It's grim, but it's really interesting to read about. So, yeah. I'm so excited to read that. Alright, the next one is much like Jesus' Son. I've tried to read this before, but it just didn't work out as well. And that's The Light Keepers by Abby Jinney. This is a book about, like, some photographer on an island. I don't know. But the first book that I read from this author was her collection of short stories called The Last Animal. And I really liked it. I think I liked it more than I thought I did, but if I like this a lot, then not only am I going to give that a reread, but she also has a new book coming out, so it's best time that I get to reading this, and I do remember somewhat liking what I was reading, but at the same time having some issues with it. But I don't know what the issues were, and I don't know what I was liking out of it, so I literally got like 30 pages into it before I'm like, ooh, new book! Ooh, is that a new Jeffrey Eugenides book? I think it was literally the time Fresh Complaint came out, but The Light Keepers sounds pretty cool. Alright, the next book is called Buddha of Suburbia by Hanif Kuraishi. I don't know how to pronounce that name. This is an awesome title, because that's what I notice in books. And also, the description sounds very edgy, but very good. So, yeah. This cover, it reeks, like the newspaper collages you'd find in the art museum, because art. And also, this is the kind of... And also, there's a much better cover for this book, but it's hecka expensive, even on Amazon. But this copy I got for like $2.50. So I'm just gonna buy this. I just bought it. Why did I say I was going to buy it? I already bought it. So, and I'm just gonna read this. And if I really love this book, then I will get the nice copy. But most likely, knowing me, I'm probably gonna just stick with this copy and suck it up. So, The Buddha of Suburbia, really, really excited to read it. And the final book is another book from the queen of short stories, my new queen that sits alongside Donna Tartt, and that is Joyce Carol Oates. But this is a special one. This is With Shuddering Fall, and it's her first novel. They recently republished a whole ton of her earlier works because of the great success that was A Book of American Martyrs. But Joyce Carol Oates... Oh my goodness, I can go on for ages about how much I love Joyce Carol Oates, but I don't know what this one is about. But knowing Joyce Carol Oates, it's going to be depressing, really well written, and depressing. Did I say depressing twice? That's because her work is horribly depressing. So, like I did before, I said horribly depressing while smiling. So, I'm losing my mind. I probably just scared everybody with my terrifying grin. Grin of, hey there, I'm going to rob your house one day. But anyway, so that does it. What is my outro? So there you go. That's my book rant. Oh my goodness. If you have any discussion about the books that I talked about, leave it in the comments below. I'm slowly losing my mind. I need to get better at this. But you can't blame me. After taking a year's break, that was my fault. But anyway, I'm Mega Man Chief Fan, and I'll see you later, guys.